Hi guys, I wanted to discuss Pastor Joel Osteen talked about it. I saw one of these videos. I really enjoyed it. I really like a lot of his stuff. Really talks a lot about prosperity. Um, so a Texas pastor or pastor, you can find on YouTube. Really good stuff. Do you really want it? And how this applies to manifestation. So I wanted to touch on this a bunch, that you have to want it. You have to really want it. So it doesn't matter what it is. Do you want a car, a stereo, a relationship, a job? Do you want this? Do you want that? If you're thinking logically of, well, I should do this, this, and this, and that looks great on paper, but deep down you're like, I don't care. I don't care about that. That's not what I really want. Not what I really want. You can see you're just like, no, I'm not feeling it. It's not what I really want. I mean, when you learn about manifestation, some people think, bring on the Ferrari, bring on the mansion, bring on all this stuff. But is that what you want? You know what I mean? Like, no judgment if that's what you want. But is that what you want? Like, do you want to feel free? Do you want to feel abundant? Do you want to feel prosperous? Get behind the feeling. And I'll do another video about that. It's about the feeling. Somebody hands you a stack of money. If it made you feel miserable, you wouldn't want it. You probably just want to feel unlimited. You want to feel free, like you're not being held back in some way. You're just open. I can go do X, Y, and Z, whatever. I found myself thinking about these sort of things. I mean, there was a time where you think, oh, I don't know, this sort of vehicle. And now I'm kind of going, like, personally, I don't care too much with regards to vehicles all that much. There is some people who are, I want to manifest this, I don't know, this sort of supercar or whatever. But getting really clear, if you, in that case, do you really want that? Or do you want the experience where you feel free and you feel alive and you want to try driving it? If so, you could probably go and rent a supercar, be in that feeling, and you literally just accomplished what you wanted without shelling out the $100,000+, whatever it is that you wanted to manifest. If you want to own it, by all means, you can go for manifesting it. But everything. Do you want a house? Do you want a big house? Why? How do you want to feel? Do you want to feel abundant? Do you want to feel prosperous? Are you tired of renting? Do you want to feel free? If somebody says they want like one of these mega mansions, how are you going to feel in that? Are you going to feel happy, or are you going to feel lonely? Are you going to feel kind of ridiculous? Are you going to feel, like, I remember it was Chelsea Handler, comedian, she bought a Rolls Royce. She could, but she felt ridiculous in it. Absolutely ridiculous. And all I'm saying is, what is it you want? How do you want to feel? And like, I myself am a photographer, and I found myself talking about really high-end camera gear at a store the other day. And just so you know, some of these things, like medium format cameras, can go up to like $60,000. And you can be printing like 150 megapixel medium format, like the size of bulletin boards, and huge, huge prints, like whopping. But the thing is, once again, do you really want it? I started talking to people more. To use one of those cameras, you have to have a laptop tethered to it with a cable pretty much. It's heavy, it's clunky, it's slow, it's not... How fun is that going to be to use? Am I going to feel inspired when I'm out there wanting to take pictures? How am I going to feel with that? Because that's just, these are things I factor in. So when you think of the things you want, factor that in. Even if you're creating, say, a list to create, I don't know, a job or a move or a house or whatever, focus on how you want to feel. It's great if you go, oh yeah, that looks cool there. But what happens if you go in there and you're like, oh man, this feels terrible? Or it's not quite what I wanted. If you focus on the feeling and the why behind it, it's going to be a win. Because there's times you can look at your vision boards and stuff and you're like, is that what I really want? Or is that just straight up ego? Because it might not be as satisfying to you. So I'm really just putting it out there for you to get really honest about, okay, is this what you want? Or maybe you're holding back from asking for what you want. And if you're not sure what you want, it's always good. You can write out, I feel free, I feel happy. How do you want to feel behind it? If somebody wants, they want a relationship. Nobody wants to feel controlled or any of this sort of stuff in a relationship. So you write it the ways. This is how it makes me feel. I feel seen. I feel heard. I feel loved. all these sort of things. In a job, I feel appreciated, I feel free, I have great balance, all these sort of things. Maybe in a house, I feel expansive, I feel creative. Um, yeah, a lot of the time when people want money, it's because they want freedom. They want to feel expansive, they want to feel unlimited, they want to feel freedom. I can tell you right now, when I think about things with freedom, when I was doing ice skating outdoors here in Canada at outdoor rinks, through parks and stuff, I felt incredible. It sounds funny, but incredibly free, super alive. It was phenomenal how good it felt, and I was not expecting that. Even going on mountain biking or riding a bike, something like that. Once again, same sort of thing. If you rode a dirt bike, maybe a motorcycle, you feel alive, you feel free. Um, Personally, I mean, it could be cool to go out and drive something like a supercar and try it out, not necessarily buy it, but you're going to feel alive, you're going to feel free, it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's like an experience. So, these are things to think about if you're looking at like health. I feel confident, I feel fit, I feel healthy, I feel well, I feel joy, I feel good about myself. The person I look back at in the mirror, I feel good. I feel good at the beach, whatever your thing is. Like, how do you want to feel? I feel good how my clothes are fitting, or whatever it is for you, for your desires. But get clear, because your desires are not necessarily the same as somebody beside you. So keeping up with the Joneses isn't necessarily going to make you happy. So if somebody has, I don't know, a couple kids and a big house, that picket fence, and you're like, that's great. And I know, I mean, and then there's some of us that are like, meh. There's some who want to live off. I know I have a friend who's talking about living off grid at some point. There's some people who travel, I don't know how many times in a month, and they just want to travel the world, or maybe they, what is your thing? What is your desires? What is life you want? Because it is your life. It's not your parents. It's not your friends or your families. And sometimes it's like breaking away from tribal conditioning with the family, for one thing, of, well, you have to do this, you have to do that. It's like, no, that's bull. Like, what's your dream? What's your dream? Once you decide and set wheels in motion, things can start to manifest and start to show up. So get clear and make sure it's what you want. And I was kind of smiling the other day when I was just considering, so for my photography, like these huge prints, thinking about, okay, what's the type of vehicle that would be best to transport some of my prints? Actually thinking about stuff like that. And not even thinking about, like, I don't know, what is the, not even caring too much about the model, or even looking at price too much, or just, and then started to write a list of, well, how would I want to feel in it? What is this thing going to look like? What's the color? And all these sort of things. Like, what is it that's totally unique to me? What is it for you? What are your wants, needs, desires? Like, think about the why. Are you wanting, I don't know, are you wanting are you going to be happy in a house, or are you going to be really happy in an apartment? There's some people, like I have a buddy who's pretty much a minimalist. Some people love that. At one point I thought I wanted a tiny home. Now I'm like, I don't want a tiny home. I mean, you could have whatever your thing is, but you have to go by how you feel. There's some people who think they want to live in a hot climate all the time. I don't know why I'm randomly thinking of this. And then they have the experience and they go, oh man, as a Canadian, I'm thinking about it, and like, I miss the seasons. I kind of enjoy having the break and having some of the cold. And I maybe miss the culture, or miss some of this or that. So you might have an idea of, like, well, yeah, this is what I want. And by all means, ask and pursue if you're crystal clear. But if you're finding the desire kind of, consider going back to, how do I want to feel? How do I want to feel? I mean, that is the root of it. Some people think, and they could be sadly disappointed. Some people win, say, the lottery, and you hear how they feel from it. There's plenty of people out there that have a ton of money that are depressed. But then there's plenty of people out there that have a lot of money and are very happy. So all I'm saying is focus on the being happy, and you're going to attract more things that will be aiding with the happiness. And while I'm on that topic, a lot of that has to do with progress, long-term happiness. Tony Robbins talks about it has to do with progress. am I making progress in different areas of my life? Am I feeling like I'm moving forward? This sort of thing of happiness. If you feel stale and stagnant, you're probably gonna feel kind of shitty. Um, yeah, so get more clear. What is it you want, and really how is it you want to feel? And if you do have a vision board, maybe have a look at it and be like, is that what I really want? Is that what I really want? I try to pay attention to what lights me up. On a 10 scale, I will ask myself and check in routinely. On a scale of 1 to 10, what is this? I don't know. And really check in. I did that with friendships. I did that with different things. And I'm like, I'm making sure that the friends that light me up to like a 10. And I make sure that that's my circle. That's going to be my circle. Oh, if I want to go someplace, I don't know, you want to travel someplace, out of 10, what is that? Okay. If it's a 10 or way beyond, sometimes you get some, it's like skyrocket, lights you up like crazy. That's a hell yes. You should probably go for that. But you can have it where you thought, you're like, I kind of want to go for this. Then after a while, you're like, oh man, I'm not totally feeling that. It's okay to change your mind. So focus on the feeling and even consider doing lists. So like, I feel healthy, I feel happy, I feel creative, all this sort of stuff. So comments, questions down below. Let me know what you think. And end it there. Okay, take care.